The Seattle Mariners are not playing their best baseball right now. Let's talk about it. So before you guys yell at me and say the Mariners are just fine, they're still in first place, yada, 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 the Seattle Mariners are just simply not playing their best baseball in the month of May, and that is just proven within the stats that I'm going to show you within today's video. From an offensive standpoint, starting pitching standpoint, and relief pitching standpoint, they are really just not playing their best right now. They have just been getting by. They are 10-13 in the month of May, discluding today's game against the Nationals in which they won, but we're just going to be focusing on those first 23 games. And while this road trip was definitely a tough one with 4 in New York and 3 in Baltimore, that is still not an excuse to be falling this much in terms of how they are performing. Before today's win, they were 0-4 with 45 strikeouts in these past 4 games ever since coming off 2 wins against the Yankees. And just looking at where they rank across the league in terms of offense, pitching, they really are just declining way more than they should be. And again, I don't really know who to blame for that. I don't really think there is one specific person or group of people to blame, but there is a reason that they are struggling and we don't really know why. Thankfully, the month of June is a much easier month going forward. I believe they have one of the easiest schedules to close out the rest of this year. But again, that is still really no excuse for the reasons that they have dropped this much in terms of league averages, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So first, we're going to start off with their offensive ranks in terms of other MLB teams. So this is just during the month of May, so this is 23 games worth of playing. So pulling it up on the screen, in terms of batting average of the month of May, they're hitting .231 as a team, which ranks them 19th in the majors. In terms of K percentage, they're at a 27.6%, which is still over 2% more than the person behind them, which I believe is the Boston Red Sox. So they are first in that category. In terms of WAR, they're at a 2, which is 18th in the league. In terms of WRC+, they're at a 100, with his 14th in the league. And in terms of on-base percentage, they're at 296, which is 21st in the league. So genuinely, in terms of offense, the offense really hasn't been great all season. They're just about similar rankings to where they were not too long ago, just kind of middle of the pack to lower end. Continuing to really strike out a lot, and those batting average still remain below the Mendoza line, which is really painful to look at. But hopefully after a 3-hit performance from Julio today, that really gets him rolling. He did have 2 back-to-back home run games, which is huge. But in general, this offense really has just been mediocre and kind of a letdown going into the season. Like, we thought they would be a little bit above average. Nothing crazy, but we really were hoping they'd be better than this. They scored 5 runs across 36 innings, and those runs only came off 3 home runs, 1 from Cal Raleigh and then 2 solo shots. Up until today, where they did score 9 runs, but like I said, we're not really focusing on that in this video. And to be honest, like I said, the offense is kind of exactly where they have been, but really, when we get into the pitching is where you see a major drop-off. So beginning with starting pitching, we're going to go over what they looked like in the month of May. So their ERA as a starting squad is 4.05, which is 19th in the majors. Their K per 9 is a 6.66, which is 28th in the majors, which is extremely low. Their walk per 9 is 2.34, which has them 7th, so pretty good there. Their WAR is 8.7, which is 26th in the league, and their home run per 9 is 1.37, which is 24th in the league. As we know, this starting rotation really started off strong this year, breaking all kinds of records in terms of quality starts, but right now they are really struggling in the month of May. They are almost bottom of the league in a lot of categories, which is not something you want to see. Now, to back that up, if you were a starting pitcher and your offense was not producing for you, it is really hard to have the mentality that you can go out and win this game when the offense is just simply not even scoring runs. That is not an excuse, but it is definitely a tough mindset to fight through when the offense is struggling and you know you don't really have a lot of backup or leeway to work with in terms of mistakes. So truly, in the month of May, this is probably one of the worst we've seen the Mariners starting pitching, as well as the bullpen, as you'll see in the next chart. But to see the offense in the bottom 6 in certain categories in the league is really just tough to watch, knowing how good this starting rotation really is. I'm not too worried about them. I believe they will turn it around, but just in the month of May, they really have been struggling. So now let's move into probably the worst one yet, and that is the relief pitching in the month of May. So pulling up our little handy dandy chart, in terms of ERA, the bullpen has a 5.59 ERA in the month of May, which is 28th in the majors. Their K per 9 is an 8.59, which has them 17th. Their walk per 9 is a 3.82, which has them 23rd. Their WAR is a 0.2, which has them 21st, and their home run per 9 is a 0.95, which has them 13th. So compared to how they were at the beginning of the year, kind of similar to the starting pitching, the bullpen was really elite for about the first month, and then they really started to die, especially down in the month of May. They really are just falling in a lot of categories, and it feels like they really can't keep the lead. Even in today's game, the Mariners were up 4-0, and somehow the Nationals came back and took a 5-4 lead. And it is really just a common theme, so whether the starting pitching does really good, the relief pitching does bad, or if the starting pitching does really bad, then the relief pitching does good. They really haven't been on the same page. And again, I totally understand the fact that it is a lot of pressure on this pitching staff, whether it's starting or relief, to go out and produce and really just not give up any mistakes, especially with how bad this offense has been. I feel like the most frustrating part about the offense is coming off 2 big wins against the best team in the AL and then just losing 4 in a row, 2 to the Nationals as well. It's just really a tough pill to swallow. I think there is going to reach a point where the Seattle Mariners are going to need help, and whether that is bullpen help, I don't really think they'll need starting pitching help. Hopefully, knock on wood, that everyone stays healthy. But I do think they're going to need to add 1 or 2 big bats into this lineup, whether that's at the deadline or anytime beforehand. And they're just going to need to get some more power arms with especially hopefully Gregory Santos coming back in the month of June. They will hopefully have one less guy to worry about. So I know a lot of talk has been around, well, they're still in first place, whatever it may be, but that is not going to last very long. The Astros and the Rangers are struggling as well. The Astros have figured it out over the past month, while the Rangers have really struggled. I believe I saw they lost 11 out of their last 13, which is mainly the reason that the Mariners have been 3 games up, and that really hasn't changed because even though we've been losing, they've also been losing. But again, these 3 teams in the division from the Mariners, the Rangers, and the Astros have way too much talent to be struggling like this throughout the entire season. And I believe it will be a close finish at the end with whoever it may be on top. I hope it's the Mariners, but you never know. And while this team has a lot of talent on it, I really do think they need to add some big pieces to really just make this lineup be that much better and really just excel for a deep playoff run. So while the month of May, they've been doing just fine. And like I said, just kind of been average at best. They really need to pick it up in the month of June, especially as the schedule gets easier. Please let me know down in the comments what you guys think a big piece that the Mariners either needs to add or get rid of a player that they may be struggling so far up to this point. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think, and I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.